We're not here to make up the numbers, we're here to compete as well. This squad, with the power they have on their day, they can do anything they want.
Hello, welcome to the Glassgirls network with me, Jonathan. Today I am joined by first team defender Niamh Murphy. How are you?
All good, thank you. All good.
Good, good. Look, Niamh, you've been with us a long time compared to a lot of the players that we've had on the channel. So I wanted to do something slightly different today. I want to know your top 5 moments since being at the club. And off the top of my head, I can think of only 3 or 4 players who've been at the club longer than yourself, and I probably embarrass myself by forgetting, but I'm thinking maybe Jess Bates, Sophie Hazelgrave and Esme. I think anybody else would be like around about level with you, so I could be completely wrong there if I've missed a couple out. But when I spoke to Rich Clark and I said, I've got Niamh Murphy coming on, I said, give me some stats on Niamh, and within 5 minutes he gave me a whole list. So I'm going to read them out, just in case anybody wants to know or wants to reminisce, or if there's anybody new who's watching. So I was going to read this out off here, and then obviously we'll get into it. So you signed in the summer of 2021 from the city of Stoke. You joined at the same time as Mill Rogers and Hannah Fishwick the same summer. In the current team, only Jess, Sophie Hazelgrave and Esme Moran has been with us longer. You made your debut in the second game of last season away to Lichfield. You've had 46 appearances for the first team with 6 goals, 9 appearances for the Resis with 1 goal. So that's 55 appearances and 7 goals. And I know quite a few of those goals we might discuss a little bit throughout the show as well. What do you think of when you think about that as like one of our longest serving players? Is that something that ever crosses your mind?
Not really. I think the team's changed drastically, hasn't it, really, since I joined. I don't think, but when you're all playing together, I don't think it's anything you think of. I think, especially this year, the players that have come in, you don't really notice that they've only been here for a couple of weeks or a couple of months. I think that the way that we've gelled together, it is like it's been that team for quite a while. Yeah. Which is nice, really.
Cool. So you got a little bit of a list there. How did you come up with those 5?
I did have to go on the FA side, just have a catch up of the games that we've actually played. Scrolling through Instagram stories, things like that, just to try and jog my memory. But
was it hard to narrow down?
It was a little bit, yeah. I had a list of 10, I think, to start with. So yeah, it was.
I was going to message you and say 10, but obviously then it might turn into a bit of a long one, of course, yeah. But we'll make a start then when you're ready, and we'll have a bit of a discussion about them and speak to me like about why those were your best moments. And I think that'll be obvious when you said them, but it's great just to recollect, because that season is a season that I actually started to go to games. So it's like, it was a big moment for me as well. So yeah, go for it. Number 1.
Are we going like reverse?
Yeah, yeah. From the top, like the first one that you sent me.
So this would be like my number 5.
Yeah, that's it. Sorry. Yeah.
So number 5 on the list would be when we beat Lichfield 7-0, and then I got the first goal in that 7-0 win. I think for the whole team, it was a must-win game. I think at that point, so it was still like a 3-horse race for the title. Yeah. And it was us, Lichfield and Sutton, and it was still anyone's game really to win. But we knew that if we won that game, that would kind of be Lichfield out the picture. Yeah. And I just remember the whole day. It was kind of a sense of like confidence, but not arrogance, and we all knew we were capable. Yeah. I think we played Lichfield early in the season. I think we only beat them 1-0.
Yes.
1 or 2-0. It was a close game, so and we knew it was going to be tough because they've been up there all season. And just the relief when we got, with the team in general, got a goal, but for me to kind of score that goal, it was brilliant. And then obviously went on to win 7-0, and it was kind of from that point I think we knew that we were just a couple of games away from getting promoted then. So that was up there, kind of a big moment just to kind of relax, a bit of weight off the shoulders, and it's kind of in touching distance then.
I think when I think of that, it's exactly right. It's a 3-horse race with Lichfield and Sutton, and for me, I think the turning point kind of was when we played Tamworth away, and we got that winner. I think we went on to win 3-1 that game, and then all of a sudden it kind of was in our hands. We had like a games in hand, or it appeared that way at least. And yeah, coming down, it was 1 more games as well, wasn't it? So what was it like to play at the War Memorial, because that wasn't your usual ground, was it, at the time?
No, I think that season we played a lot of the games at Hindlers.
Cup games as well, maybe.
Yeah, we had quite a few cup games here. I don't know whether it was that season that we made a bit of an FA Cup run. But yeah, so we played like some special games here. So, but towards the late end of the season, we started to play more and more games down here. I think we got a decent crowd in as well.
Yeah.
I think because everyone knew it was like an important game. I think Carly got a hat trick, didn't she?
I was going to bring that one in, because I think whenever we reminisce about that game, it's usually the fact that Carly had such a great game, and yeah, she did get a hat trick. I don't know if she got any assists, but
yeah, probably most of them.
Yeah, but I think also from what people say to me, because I wasn't at that game, just the fact that like the game was won, and like with 10 minutes to go, she just like tracked back and like ran the length of the pitch just to get back and defend, and got a good tackling as well. And I think that was a game that like was great for Carly as well. Wasn't it? Describe your goal then. What can you remember your goal?
Yeah, so well, I think it was either a free kick or it was a good ball in from the right hand side to pretty sure it was a free kick. Alex Nicklin kind of just whipped the ball and right footage right across the goal, and it wasn't a scramble, but it was just kind of like right place, right time. Get something on it and it's going to go in. So he just like launched himself at the ball, went in and just. I just didn't know what to do. Everyone's like running everywhere, celebrating with Alex, celebrating with me. It was just, it was great. And then I think from then it was kind of, let's keep going, let's go again. And we just, went on to score another 6. So it was just a statement. Like, I think at the time that might be second, be third. I don't think we'd top the table at that point. Because like you say, we had like a few games in hand, whereas other teams had points on the board. Whereas we were still second, third. But you just put a statement out just that.
It was a great time, it was. And that was when I got to know Josh around about that time, so I think he was going to a couple of games that I couldn't attend, and he was messaging me, and I couldn't believe what I was reading. And it was Anthony's first time down there as well, so the fans was loving it, because we hadn't experienced the promotion with you at that point, and it was like you say, you could actually see it happening, that it could potentially happen. So we was loving it, we really was, and it was a great statement to make, like you say. What's your next one, Niamh?
So the next one is. So the next one is starting the first game in Tier 3.
Okay.
So that's a more recent.
Yeah.
A more recent one. So obviously our first game being Forest away. I think this one for me is like a personal achievement. I was out a lot of last season through injury. I think I only played maybe 4 or 5 games beginning of the season and got injured at Huddersfield in a cup game, and then that saw me out really sick until the end of the season. Made a couple of reserve appearances, and I was on the bench and that towards the end of the season. But realistically, I wasn't fit enough to feature, but how I wanted to.
How did you find that? Just change the subject, because obviously you played like a big part in that Tier 5 season, and obviously the two sides have done really well together. It must have been a bit tough for you to think, oh, we've got promoted, but I'm not really seen it, because you've obviously not played.
Yeah,
was it tough for you?
Yeah, I think it was difficult. And then of course I went on holiday in kind of the March, April as well. So
when you get
I brought that bit kind of on myself. We'd had this big family holiday booked, but yeah, it was difficult because I was always just itching to get back into it, and I was nearly back at Christmas, and then a couple of gym sessions over Christmas, and then my knee just kind of like flared up again. So I was like so close, and then delayed myself a couple of months, and I don't know, it's kind of mixed emotions because like we lost the first game of the season, and then we went on to to win most of the games and draw a few and whatnot. But so the emotions were kind of like, I'm so glad that we're winning and to be part of it. And I always made sure that I stayed part of it. I was turning up to training even though I wasn't training, or I always went on away trips. I always came down to support. I always did what I could. But at the same time, everyone wants to play, don't you? Just want
of course, yeah.
So it was difficult, and obviously I was just really, I was involved in the Leeds game. Come on for the last 10-15 minutes, which for me was it was nice that I was able to be involved, having missed most of the season, to still be included in that squad. When it could have been anyone, we could have brought some races up to to fill the numbers, but I was. Yeah, it was nice that I was asked to be part of that squad towards the end of the season,
But Forest, obviously, biggest game of your career, is it?
Forest, yeah, I'm in tier 3. I've never played tier 3 football before. And I think for me, it was the fact that I'd missed out a lot last season. And someone reminded me that before, they're like, you jumped from tier 5 to tier 3.
Yeah.
Because you haven't actually experienced tier 4. Like, for me especially, I've had the biggest jump out of everyone.
Yeah, I thought about that, yeah.
I didn't experience that physicality week in, week out of tier 4 football. So then to be chosen in the starting 11, in the squad to start with, but then to be put on the pitch in the starting 11 the first game of the season, it was a privilege.
Yeah.
You know, and to walk out and, you know, great support there at Forest, and we took a few as well. It was just really proud. Like, I had, you know, my parents and boyfriend and brother come and watch kind of when they can.
Yeah.
So they're all there watching. You know, the result wasn't what we wanted, was it? But, you know, it was just a great feeling. And I mean, second half we performed much better.
Yeah, very much so.
You know, it's nerves, whatever. But I think just walking out on that pitch as a tier 3 footballer, having kind of been through what I went through last season, it was just a proud moment. Yeah.
It couldn't have been a harder opening game. You know, Forest won the league the year before. We were promoted the year before, and away from home. So you couldn't have chosen a more difficult opponent on paper, at least at the time. What was it? Can you remember much about the team huddle, like just before you kicked off, or maybe like in the changing room just before you came out? Was there anyone who kind of said anything else that made it more emotional, or was you all settled down before we kicked off, or can you remember much about like what was said, or was it like an emotional time that way as well?
I think I can't remember too much, to be honest. I remember Andy kind of just saying, just to relax and like we're here, we've made it, like kind of thing, and yeah, I don't know, I can't remember. It all kind of like blurs into one, and but it was just kind of, you know, this is us now. Like, we are 2-3 footballers. Like, don't show them any respect.
Yeah.
You know, they deserve to be here. We deserve to be here, to go out there and prove that we're not here to make up the numbers. That was a kind of, it's always been our statement this year that we're not here. And I think, you know, that game particularly was just, you know, let's just go out and prove something. And like we say, first half, you know, maybe not, but second half, I think we did that. We just kind of, you know, sorted our formation out a bit and, you know, made a good account for ourselves.
And then back down here, I think our last home game, unless the fixtures change, I think our last home game of the season is against Forest down here. Yeah, so that'll be interesting to see how things change, because you know, Forest are a fantastic team, and it doesn't matter that you lost 7-1 that day, or 7-0, 7-0. I can't remember what it was, 7-0. That was just such the difference. At that time, you're just there for everyone to see anyway. So, like I say, just to experience that, and that their fans, like you say, they brought quite a few fans with them. It was quite noisy. I know we had Anthony, but no, but it was just such a great atmosphere and a nice stadium as well to go to for that first game of the season. So yeah, it's definitely one that we'll remember as a fan group as well. Third one on your list?
Third one is, so third one, I've got Calcer Under the Lights. I'm going to cheat a bit because I'm going to mention both legs, the home and away legs. Okay. So I think we played them away first. And this one for me was just, I remember just having a really good game. Yeah. Like, this was probably like a performance that I was proud of. Okay. I'd had kind of quite a few like family friends down watching, because it's quite a local one, like for us really being in. So yeah, there are people down watching. I just remember it's a bit of a rivalry, isn't there? Like, just a bit of a derby. Yeah. And they're a good team. They're like a feisty team, and like we knew that's.
They're well established here, full team as well at the time.
Yeah, definitely. So like we knew it was going to be like a tough game, and I think we just went there again, just like full of confidence and thinking we've got nothing to lose. Like, there's no pressure on us for any game last season. Like, there was just no pressure, and I just remember it was a good battle, kind of with their striker. I forget her name, but it was like just a good battle. But I just felt like I had a really good game, and just like didn't let them get behind, and then going forward we were good, and just the whole squad. Like, on a personal level, yes, my game, but I think just as a whole squad, everyone just stepped up. Yeah. And we just wanted it more than them on the day, and I think that was kind of a realisation. It's like, wow, like, yeah, this team, like we can do it, kind of thing. And it was just, yeah, it's just a great game of football.
You mentioned that realisation, and I always think about this, and I was going to ask you about this a bit later on when we speak about Kidderminster, but there's moments in the season where you start to think, we're better than these teams, and like the season before would have been like Sutton and Lichfield and maybe Kidderminster as well. Was that the moment where you sort of started thinking to yourself, wow, we're actually overtaking some of these teams as well now, or was you still like maybe not so much looking at it as a bigger picture, more of just like a one-off game? Did you have any thoughts in mind about that?
I think we always kind of took it like game by game, and we never kind of dwelled too much on a positive result or a negative result. It's kind of, right, that game's done, move on to the next one. I think, yeah, in the back of your mind you might think, yeah, these are established team, we've matched them, you know, we can go on to beat better and whatnot. But yeah, it was always kind of drilled into us like game by game, and you know, in the changing room it was just kind of a you know, like a list of all the games and like you're ticking them off, and you know, 5 weeks left, 4 weeks left, and you know, it was very kind of focused in that sense.
Is that what you got then? Like before the games, you got like a list.
Like towards the end of the season.
Yeah.
And possibly when it was more in reach of us, possibly winning the title, it was that kind of just to stay focused and we still didn't know. We don't think of any games too far in advance. You know, we've got X amount of games left of the season, but we focus on the next two.
Okay.
Just the little blocks and kind of, right, let's work through these, do what we can to prepare for these. Right, that's done. Move on to the next.
The home game down here was one of my favourite games, evenings, because obviously it was everyone's birthday, so the celebrations here. It was only a draw, but it was a point that we needed, really. That's all we needed. Well, in my opinion, a draw was good enough to kind of not steal the title, but kind of really help us on our way. And it was a great game down here. Come from behind twice, did we, that game?
Yeah, I think
so.
I think Lamid, we'd missed a penalty, and then maybe like a minute later, Lamid then kind of
that was
made it up, and you know, I think possibly equalised then and we're back in the game. But such a feisty game. But I think for me, the memory of that game was so it was my birthday along with Mike and Harry. And I was still kind of come back from injury. I'd played for the Reses the week before against Longeaton. I think we drawn 2 each, and I'd come back and I'd scored a header to equalise.
We'll speak about these headers at the end, shall we? We need to.
To kind of equalise 2 each. So obviously, like, no first team football at this point yet in the season. So yeah, it's my birthday. We'd been out for a meal before, and then I think Jess Bate had pulled up injured in the warm-up.
Okay.
So then Andy comes out and was like, "Have you got your kit with you?" I was like, "Oh, yeah, I think I got my boots in the car." So I went to the car and checked, got my boots and shin pads, so I was great. Like,
yeah, I remember that.
You're right. Come on, and no expectation to kind of play. I was just on the bench.
Wow.
I'd had nothing, like, I'd had my makeup on, like, I'd been out for dinner, like,
wow.
And then so I was on the bench just thinking, like, they'll bring me on if someone gets injured, like, it was just to make up the numbers, like, that's fine. And then I think we draw in 2 each, and we get like a corner in the last minute. I think someone shouts like, "Get Niamh on" or something.
I'll take credit for that.
So someone shouts that from the crowd, and then Mike's there like, "Niamh, take your bib off." So like quickly, like, just like taking my jacket off, take my bib off. For me, it was like the crowd, because we had quite a big crowd there as well.
Yeah, it was.
Like, but just like the noise at the crowd, like everyone.
It was great.
Obviously, like the Reses were there watching. And I'd scored the week before from a header, and everyone was like, "Oh, like she could score here, like get her on for a corner, you know, she can get a goal here." And then it could have been a fairy tale ending, like spoiler, like I didn't score, but
not on that occasion, but several others were.
But yeah, for me it was just like the roar of the crowd. It's like euphoric. It was just like everyone was cheering and everyone wanted me to score. But like the ball, you know, good delivery, but I didn't run in, you know, front post or back post, whatever. Like, and my boyfriend Rich always says, like, "You should have run front post." Like, so every time now, like, I'm always just running front post, like, just in case. But yeah, it was just that noise around the stadium, and just like, you know, the what if.
That was
like,
your moment,
and that was kind of my moment. It's kind of, and I didn't score, but it was just like, I just remember like just everyone cheering. And
well, you didn't score, you didn't score, but there's a reason why we keep shouting that, and it happened again against Stoke. So I think we got the equaliser against Stoke this season, 2-2, and I think there was another corner, and I remember you coming on for that for then, Mike Harris is there getting you on, instructing you, saying do what you did against Birmingham or whatever. So whatever he was doing in a training game of pre-season, he must have made a certain run, because I remember it right now, because it is. We do think about you with corners, and his rivals see this now. They'll be watching you even more. But you got a reputation of scoring headers on from corners or free kicks, and that's what we say. So yes, you didn't score that night, but everything that you've done so well building up to that is the reason why the fans wanted to see it. And I'm sure there'll be another occasion this season where we'll have that moment as well. But yeah, that Kelso game was fantastic, and one of my top memories of last season. And there was a lot of very good memories last season as well.
Yeah.
What else you got on there?
So next on the list we have so the Kidderminster game that we mentioned earlier. So when we beat them 4-0 again towards kind of the end of the season. So yeah, I think towards the end, maybe like third or fourth game before the end of the season. I think it was the week after the Lichfield game. I think that's what it was. Okay. So the week after the Lichfield game, we go and play Kidderminster. Again, great team performance, like win 4-0, and then like rumours going around that like City of Stoke have taken points off Sutton, and obviously City of Stoke being my old team. We've got some of my mates like we're still playing there, and I remember Holly from City of Stoke giving me a call. It's like, oh, we've just done you guys a favour. I was like, what do you mean? What do you mean? Like just taking points off Sutton. I think I was in KFC car park or something, just like having a celebratory KFC, and then it was just like absolutely buzzing. And word got around. I think we were in the changing room, and word got out. Kind of Sutton had dropped points, and then I can't remember what games went after that, but that was kind of, it was almost it then for that season. The fact that they dropped points. So I think as I said earlier, they were still top, but with games in hand. So that just like closed that gap. But yeah, it was just kind of, everyone was like, no way. Like it was just like unimaginable, because I think City Stoke were like bottom, or they were down there, they were towards the bottom. So it's kind of like on paper, you would never have thought. But when we played City of Stoke, they've always given a good game, but like on paper, you'd expect Sutton to win. Yeah. But the work rate and stuff of City of Stoke, having played them myself, it's no surprise that they can take points off teams. So like, but for us, it was just like and for it to be my old team as well. That was just even better. Even more. Yeah. Yeah, I remember that. I think at that point, I couldn't see Stourbridge dropping any points. I think I followed you from about October that season, and obviously it was getting to maybe February, March time, and I could actually see how good you were and mentally how strong you were as well. And I always felt that as long as you guys were just doing your bits, that it didn't really matter too much about Sutton and Lichfield. But I do remember, as you said, we was driving home. I think we was actually driving to a Man United game, so I think we was doing a double header. So we could have been going to Villa or Aston Villa or Birmingham, and we was on the way to that game, and Andy Fisher rang me saying, "John, Sutton have dropped points," and I'm like, "No," because that even just made it even more kind of like, "Oh, it's going to happen, it's going to happen." And we ended up winning the title by about 10 points. It looked like we walked it at the end, because I think you guys just steamrolled over the line, whereas unfortunately Sutton and Lichfield for them just didn't quite have enough to keep that going, whereas you guys did. Yeah. But I remember that game, winning 4-0. It was quite close to the pitch, weren't we? I think it wasn't like any. I think it was just like it's not the nicest pitch. Yeah. So yeah, I remember going to that game as well, and I think you just. Well, I wanted to ask you about that Kidderminster thing. So when you first joined, I think maybe Kidderminster and Stourbridge was probably kind of level, maybe. I could be completely wrong, but I don't think we actually properly overtook them because we was new to the league. But obviously we've signed some good players from Kidderminster as well, like Alex Nicklin and Lammy. And did you ever feel that like you was Stourbridge was really pushing away from Kidderminster at that time? So I never really played against Kidderminster. I know we played against them in the FA Cup down here, and I think it was like a close game. I think we played in the league. So I think it was a close game. I think, as you say, like with the sign of like Alex Lamb, like I always feel like we edged it, but I never kind of felt how close the two teams were. Yeah. Because I'd never experienced kind of what Kiddie were like. Yeah. Like beforehand. Previously. Whereas I imagine some of the players who have now left us would have kind of appreciated the level that both teams were at previously.
I think it's a testament as well, and just shows how far we have come now. We spoke about all these teams like Kidderminster and then Kelsey in Tier 4, and now we're competing against like the likes of Albion. It's a massive jump in a very, very short time, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sometimes you just like step back and just think, well, we have come a long way in a short time, because we've had no time to stabilise, because we haven't stabilised, have we? We just kept on going up and up and up. And obviously this is the season where we are stabilising, touch wood. But do you ever sometimes just think to yourself, what a whirlwind of 2 or 3 years?
Yeah, I think especially because when I joined, it's all kind of that season, kind of, because I know they got like upward movement and things like that, and started from the bottom, which I wasn't there for that part. But you know, from Tier 5 onwards, like you say, it's just been like one after the other.
Yeah.
And I guess you do have to take a step back and be like, look where we've come from. And I know you say there's like a handful of players that are still there. It doesn't take away like what the other players have done. Like there's, I think again, Rich Clark with his stats kind of said how many first team players appearances there's been. Like I want to say like over 70 or something. Like first team players in these.
Yeah, he'll tell you.
In these 3 seasons, which is a huge amount of players, and every single one of them is played as brought us from 5 to 3. We're just lucky to be here now, and I'm particularly lucky to have been there from 5 to 3.
Yeah, when you sent me these games that you wanted to talk about today, I went on FA full time as well, and I was just looking at the squad lists, and it's completely different now within the space of 18 months or 2 years, and it is a lot has changed. The last one you wanted to talk about was Lye. Yeah,
Lye Town. Again, I don't think it was the last game of the season. I think it was the game that kind of saw us mathematically champions. Again, it was another kind of local derby, and you know they were keen to spoil the party and the rest of it. So was it 5-0? Maybe.
I can't remember off the top of my head, but I can't remember.
But like I remember, so I'd scored, and I don't get too many goals playing centre half. Like I don't get too many, but I think that season, I think 6 of those 7 goals that I've got, or 5 of the 6.
Yeah.
Is it 6 goals I scored?
I think I might have written it down. Yeah, 6-0.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, obviously. Did you get 2 goals in that game?
Yeah, so I got like 2 goals, but I think that season I'd scored maybe like 5 or 6 goals.
Okay.
So I got the first goal. Again, I think it was I think both from corners. One, both from kind of the left hand side. Carly kind of right under the keeper, and I've just kind of again put my body on it, and then just got something on it. 1-0, and then third goal again. Ball's come out from the corner, and I've just kind of hit it bottom left, and like I don't get many goals, so you know just running around.
Great occasion as well, because obviously it was so meaningful, wasn't it? Because you knew going into that game, we would do it for you.
Yeah. So like, and just the celebrations. So to score in that game, and then just the whole day, like the celebration with the banners, with the flares.
It's still iconic now, those pictures, and they'll always be remembered.
The burnt shirts afterwards. Like, I remember Kevin's number 22 shirt was just burnt to a crisp.
Yeah.
It was just like with the flares, but and then obviously down here afterwards as well, just having a couple of drinks, the music, karaoke, like
conga on the pitch.
Conga on the pitch, like everything. So yeah, it was just the whole day. That weekend, like it was another like we'd done it then. Yeah, so yeah.
It was, and those evenings back then were so special because it wasn't just that game. We knew that it was feasible to actually get over the line and get promoted, and you could feel that anticipation. And Andy and the players and everyone was, you know, the fans were getting carried away, but the players and the coaches and the manager was always the first to say, we haven't won it yet, we still need to pick up points. But you could see the way it was going, how strong you guys looked. It wasn't just winning 1-0, the goal average was huge, and you know, you weren't just scraping by where some of the other teams might have been. You just, like I said earlier, you just steamrolled over the line. So I think, yes, that game did seal it, and the pressure was off for you guys, but I think that was just, in my opinion, it was done a little bit before then. But no one would like to admit that, and don't admit it, but like, it felt that way as a fan, because you guys were just doing nothing wrong. You were absolutely smashing it. So the build up to that as well, coming down here on the Sundays, 3, 4, 5 weeks before that, every Sunday it was nice weather because it was springtime, and you could just see it getting closer and closer. And then finally you and the management and coaches could just breathe and say, we've done it. And it must have been a great feeling for you to experience promotion in your first season here.
Yeah, definitely. And you know, I played football for years and years, and I think I don't know whether I've ever actually had like promotion like with the team. Just in the way that the leagues are set up. You know, like the younger age groups, and like when I was at uni, it was more of a like a Sunday league. But I went to university in Wales, and there's only like one league really, and then you've got your books kind of university league. So for those like 3 years at uni, you didn't have promotion relegation.
Yeah.
And then playing for Bilbrook and City of Stoke, it was all, you know, like mid-table type of team. So that was probably the first time I'd properly experienced promotion with a team as well, which probably made it a bit more special.
Same as me as a fan. Obviously supported Man United. Like, you know, it's promotion is not even a thing. It's just you either win the title or you don't. Or in this day and age, get Champions League and you don't. But yeah, no, it was great, and something that I also felt part of it as a fan, because you know, that was the year where obviously I came into it, and not just me, several other fans as well, because you really got a lot of fans on board, not just because you were winning, but because of the Sunday nights down here as well. Like, you know, you really welcomed everyone who came to the club. So, you know, having that trophy and me having a photo with the trophy, and I remember one of my favourite photos is of Andy Fisher and Alex Nicklin with a trophy down there. Alex was obviously wearing the blue because she played away that game. So yeah, she was wearing the blue kit. And yeah, just so many memories of that. I covered the first season, and it was also your first season as well, so I'm allowed to say that. But yeah, it was just such a memorable time, and that was the icing on the cake, wasn't it? Yeah. There are a couple of other honourable mentions that we'll touch on before we go as well. This is like more team related more than maybe yourself. But yeah, great moments. Go on.
Yeah, so I'd mentioned Karen's goal against Lye, so that was in the County Cup. So I think for me that was one of the. I think I'd started that game, which was possibly one of the first games I'd started as a centre half, because I played a little bit midfield towards the beginning of the season. And me and Alex still kind of laugh to this day, like I'd had an awful start, as in the ball got passed back to me. We've got this like kick-off routine, ball gets passed back to me, and I kicked it up the pitch, and I just kicked it straight to their player.
Okay.
And yeah, it's just a running joke between me and Alex, but not a great start, but then kind of got into the game. You know, not a bad game like for myself, but it's just a tight game. Like with Lyon, I think it's one of the closest, because earlier in the season I think we beat them down at Hingley's. Yeah. Maybe like 7-8-1 or something. Yeah,
that was the first game.
Like convincing win. And then obviously coming to this game, we just beat them 2-1. We're kind of pushing for a goal, and then Kevin comes in kind of, you know, I want to say like in the late 80th minute or something like that. A bit of a scramble, but Karen just wanted it more, and she, just kind of bulldozed it over the line, and just, to kind of clinch the game for us. So 2-1. But I think that was important, because that just showed that kind of determination, and like you said before, just with, you mentioned Carly, kind of just sprinting kind of last minute to make a last ditch tackle. It's the same kind of attitude. Yeah. You know, kind of never say die kind of thing. You know, last couple of minutes of the game, got a corner, put everything you can on it, and so that for me is kind of just we're pushing and pushing for a goal, and then Karen just pops up and just a lot
of memories blur into one for me, and the fans always joke about my poor memory, but there are certain moments that I don't forget, and that was one of them, because that was a game that it was so hard just to get that goal. And I remember Lloyd doing a fantastic job of frustrating us. Every possible opportunity, there was kicking the ball as far as it could to time waste. So if it was a throw-in or a shot that went out, it was like they just belted it there. There was time wasting so much, and I was so tempted to run round and be a ball boy on the opposite side, because every opportunity they were just taking the time, getting the ball and everything. And I know it was an emotional day for them off the field as well. But it was just such a big game for us, because I think obviously I went in there thinking, oh, we got a good chance of winning this, you know, as you do. And we just still weren't winning, and you know, and to get that winning goal, when you celebrate a goal, sometimes it's just a sigh of relief as well. It's not just a celebration that you've scored; it's a sigh of relief, and I think that was everything rolled into one for me there.
Yeah, it was that picture of Karen kind of. I think it's me, Karen and Ez, and Karen is just like the face and the clenched fists and everything. It's just pure passion that, like, you know, we've got that goal, and Ez is just kind of celebrating as well. And
that led to the final against Kiddie that we ended up winning.
That was the semi-final, Kiddie in the final,
So we got the double that year there as well. And the last memory is a more of a recent one. I think a lot of the newer fans would probably say this is one of their highlights of the season so far. Which one was it?
Zoe's goal against Stoke. Again, same reasons really as Kevin's goal. It's just kind of a come from behind and then searching for that goal.
Yeah.
And Stoke kind of just seemed to almost like drop off and let us kind of keep pushing for that goal. And whether they let us or whether we were just good and just kept pushing forward. And Zoe just kind of, I think she takes past a couple of players as she does, and then just buries it in and again it's the celebration, it's the pictures afterwards. It's just you kind of, when you see the picture, you think you just like you animate it, and I can really imagine being there again. I think I've come on for the last kind of 10-15 minutes of that game, and the celebrations, it was just I might not, maybe I hadn't come on that game yet.
I think you come in a bit later. I think
I was on. I'm thinking of the West Brom game, but so for the Stoke game, it was kind of just everyone just erupted. Kind of you could see Zoe running over, the bench went mad, and just it was so last minute.
And this is where I said so we had a corner. I think it was already 2-2 at that point, and then I'm sure that's when you got brought on. And Mike just told his goal there. But you spoke about the Calcer moment with the raised voices and all the shouting and everything at Calcer. That Stoke was probably even bigger than that. I think we really deserved it. It was banged on the shed door when we got that equaliser, but we did thoroughly deserve it. We could see it coming, and you don't always get what you deserve. They could have quite easily caught us on the counter attack, but I say that they didn't. I really think that that second half, you was a better team mentally and actually on the pitch itself, and I think that's definitely a great memory. And obviously we were building momentum that time as well, weren't we? And that obviously carried us to the next game as well. And that was one of our big moments of the season, because Stoke at that point obviously was still doing quite well, as obviously above us in the league. And to get the point felt like a win. And it was a win because it showed that we could come back from 2-0 down, I think.
We're 2-0 down, and like I say, it's another team that's established in the league. So to get, as you said, to get even just a point, it was kind of a point gained rather than kind of 2 loss for us. It was kind of, all those points are really important. So to get that point there was just brilliant. Another one on the board.
Got a couple of minutes left. Maybe what would you like another highlight to be this season? If you could choose one game for there to be some sort of, not an upset necessarily, just some sort of special moment, what game do you think it could be in? Because we've got still quite a few to come down here. Or Albion away even.
You've got Albion away. I think I'd like to see down here. I think, as you say, we've got
Wolves, Newcastle.
We've got all the top 4, if you like. So we've got Burnley, Newcastle, Wolves and Forest.
And even Feds, the top 5 down here.
I think there's definitely room for us to take points or something this season. I think any one of those games would be unexpected, but it's brilliant if we could.
It would be, and you never know, he might come on the last 10 minutes and get another header.
Exactly.
We'll be calling for it, definitely. Guarantee that would happen, absolutely. Thank you very much for joining us. Really enjoyed that, because I don't think we speak in this much detail about Tier 5 anymore. It's still a great memory. We talk about how exciting it is down at the clubhouse and everything, but to go into that little bit of detail, I'm sure quite a few fans who've been with us for more than 2 years will really enjoy listening to your thoughts there. And I have. It's brought back so many memories. Thank you very much, and best of luck for the rest of the season on and off the pitch.
Thank you very much.
We'll see you again soon.
Lovely. Cheers,
Thank you.
Thank you.